My name is Khulukazi Mdebele, and I will be your facilitator for this webinar this evening. Welcome to the information session for the Management and Leadership in Action program, brought to you by the Black Management Forum and Q Corporate Education. This session will provide you with the general introduction to Q Corporate Education and specific information regarding the program curriculum, admission requirements, application process, and the program bursary. It is also a good opportunity to ask all BMF and program-specific questions that you might have. We encourage you all to submit your questions throughout the session. Please use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen to do so. This is so that we don't miss your questions in the chat box that is also at the bottom of your session of your screen. Without any further ado, please allow me to invite our Acting Managing Director, Mr. Philip Bakau-Kutela, to give the opening remarks.
Thank you very much, Khulukazi, and a good evening, colleagues, members of the Black Management Forum, my fellow panelists on the platform, Matthew, Tato, good evening once more. I think my in is quite very simple, actually. Rather, the objective of my intervention tonight is basically just to highlight who we are as an organization, as the Black Management Forum, but also how did we came about choosing this part of partnering with such a renowned organization like Q Corporate Education, which, by the way, has been a partner, a strategic partner of the organization for a number of years. I would even go to an extent of saying for the past almost 2 decades since we've started this wonderful relationship with them, which obviously span from other programs that we currently still hosting to this particular one. As an organization, who we are, the BMF is a management and leadership organization whose role is to, develop managerial leadership primarily amongst Black and also advance socio-economic transformation within the context of South Africa. This year is a milestone year for the organization as we celebrate our 45 years of existence. And we have centered this year, rather the celebration of our 45th around driving ethical leadership and meaningful transformation in South Africa. We do what we do without any fear or favor. We do what we do with the view of truly empowering our members out there and also contributing to the public discourse to advancing the socio-economic transformation of our beautiful country. And we do it obviously by a number of interventions, of which obviously one of which is the program that we're currently launching tonight with our strategic partner, Q Corporate Education. We've got also a number of other programs that obviously we host, but I think the significance of this one, rather, I must say with Duke, is a result of a gap that we've identified in the market, is a result of a gap that we've seen within our current membership. And because as an organization, we want to ensure that our members are fully equipped to be able to handle themselves and advance their specific agenda wherever they find themselves, so it befitting in actually bringing this program to life. So you will be able to find out more throughout the session as myself and my colleague obviously unpack what is it that the program will obviously offer, but that will also be made available obviously on the various Black BMF platform that you obviously have access to. And I'm sure you all would have seen obviously the application that we have so far launched, which will be closing quite soon as well. And we look really forward to receiving more of your applications. And we encourage you also to encourage your friends, to encourage your family members to join us on this particular journey to ensure that we grow and develop you. So I think those are the few words that I wanted to say, just to again once more thank you, our strategic partners who are present with us here tonight, Q Corporate Education, Tato, and Matthew in this platform. Thank you very much, Kulu.
Thank you very much for that warm welcome, Philippe. If any of you have got any BMF specific questions, you may please supply these questions to us using the Q&A tab at the bottom of your screen, and we will bring them to the attention of Philippe during the Q&A session that will be after the presentation by our guests this evening. Now, please help me give a very warm BMF welcome to our guest for this evening, Mr. Matthew Butler Adam. Matthew is the Academic Director in the Johannesburg office of Duke CE. Passionate about education and driving sustainable business growth, Matt cultivates relationships and accredited business in the South African market. Some of his specific interests include inspirational leadership, value creation through both organic and inorganic growth, and digital innovation, as well as Tato Belang, who is the Project Director at Duke CE. She works closely with clients, faculty members, and colleagues to deliver innovative educational programs and blended learning solutions focused on getting leaders ready for what's next. In her role, Tato partners with Duke valued clients to ensure a robust pipeline of current and future leadership talent, and that are capable of navigating a world of vitality, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. She has extreme experience in graduate program in the financial services and telecommunications. So you see why both these individuals are perfect for this evening's session. Over to you, Tato and Matthew. Thank you.
So much for the warm welcome, Kulu and Philippe. I think, I want to first start by acknowledging, what is happening around us in our country. Acknowledge that we enter and we enter the space and we come into the space finding ourselves at different spaces emotionally, impacted by what is happening around us, the pandemic, but also the riots and the looting and everything that is happening, impacting our businesses, the very businesses that we're hoping to enrich, the very businesses that we collaborate with in the work and the spaces that we find ourselves and do. So I think I just want to acknowledge that, and we acknowledge that we enter the space from different sets. At Duke CE, we're very proud of our collaboration and partnership with the BMF. We're excited about some of the work that we've started and the work that is in the pipeline that we envisage doing through this partnership and collaboration. I think we share a lot of passion for the development of this country, of this continent. We share the passion for the developing leaders to help solve complex issues in our society, in our businesses, in the work that we do really. And it is my great pleasure to be representing Duke CE with my colleague Matt this evening. So we hope that through this presentation, we'll answer some of your questions that you still have regarding the program that we're launching here, which is we call it Mlap, so Management in Action and Leadership Program at NQF Level 5. So I'm just gonna put up my presentation and then I'm gonna share and then Matt will continue. So just really high level, what you can expect as a participant in this on this program, what you can expect from it. Really exciting and high energy program launch, which is not now today's just information. So once you've registered as a learner on this program, you'll have another a launch where there's more details around what to expect. Obviously an online and self-study material. So we understand that people are dealing with a lot of things, we're playing a lot of roles, and so this is an online study, so you do at your own pace, although within guided timeframes. And we give you complimentary access to our online subscription of Duke CE Dialogue, which is a leadership magazine, thought leadership that goes into here from a global perspective, because we are a global organization, and we are part of the Duke University system. So we bring that rich and in-depth academic rigor as well. So this program is really structured learning process. It's around gaining knowledge and practical skills in the workplace. And as I said, it leads to a qualification registered with the NQF and SAQA. And it helps develop participants to lead collaboratively in today's rapidly changing business environment and with the future purposes I mean, we all didn't know 18 months ago that we would be in a situation that we are today. So how do we develop the muscle to be ready as leaders to challenge the future, to come up with solutions for the future that is unknown, but also, developing those skills as leader to lead collaboratively. Participants acquiring this qualification will be able to manage as first-line managers. So it's really that first-line band at the beginning when you're starting to lead a team. What does it mean for you? And what are some of the skills that you require? And how do you equip yourself to be able to lead at that level? And this may include team leaders, supervisors, junior managers, and section heads. So, I think in the application process, some of you have seen that there are bursary opportunities that we offer through this. And so some of the questions that we envisage, or some of the questions that have already come through, was who qualifies for this bursary? And the criteria is really lean, right? We don't have a long list of criteria. It's really around, firstly, the academic merit. Because this qualification is an NQF 5, the minimum requirement is that you have already, in possession of an NQF 4 or metric equivalent, that you have some, type of experience in the workplace. So when we review this application, we'll be looking at the type of experience that you've had, whether you're playing already at this level of management or whether you're aspiring to be, but we look at holistically what that experience look like and how it equips you to be able to do well in this program. And of course, good standing BMF membership is one of that qualifiers. And then that you're already in a conducive business environment for application. You will see later on when we talk about what accreditation means, but there's a lot of application that is required or that is expected back in your organization or in your business landscape. So just high level, don't be scared by the slide. I know it looks busy, but it's really just a snapshot of the journey that you would embark on this program. So it's an approximately 12 months journey, and we're looking to kick off in August. So we're very close to our kickoff, and we're excited about it. Where we're going to start with that launch that I spoke about on the 23rd. And across this journey, we've got 3 BMF master classes. Although this is an accredited module, we thought there are pertinent topics, topical and pertinent topics that are important to really just cover, to anchor, some of the needs of the leaders, as I mentioned in my opening, that we need a certain type of leadership in the times that we are living now and thinking about the future. We need to develop and capacitate a new set of leadership and the skills that is required for that. And so we believe that through these master classes, we look at the topics that are pertinent in driving and enabling these skills and the type of leaders that we require. So the journey it comprises of 6 modules, as you can see here. And the cadence is that after each module, really, and you'll see that each module is over around a week, around a month. And the cadence is that then after that, there will be like an exercise coaching that is really at the back of that exercise coaching to embed some of the lessons, but also to ensure that the translation from the theory into reality, into practice is landing well. Some of the challenges that they're experiencing, but also from an accreditation perspective to help with a portfolio of evidence that needs to be completed throughout this journey. Matt, do you want to jump in here? I think let me invite you to just give examples around that and then continue with the rest of our presentation.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Tato, and thank you everyone for having us with you today. I thought it might be good to just share a few examples of some of the content that you'll cover in some of these modules. And as Tato points out, you'll have a module and you'll have typically 4 to 6 weeks to go through all of the material, most of which will be at your own pace. Usually when the module kicks off, we'll have a teach session to orient you through the material. You'll then have your time to go through the material, watch the videos, read the texts, complete assignments. And at the end, we'll offer a bit of coaching. And that's there really to support you when you make your final submissions of work for each of the modules. So those are the guardrails, but within each module, you can read and access the information really at your own pace. And it's the culmination of all 6 that leads to the full qualification. Just to give you a few examples, so in module 1, which is really focused on leading self, we'll cover topics related to how to think about change processes, how to develop project and operational plans for yourselves, and also some access to systems thinking as a tool for making decisions. In module 2, which is focused on leading others, we'll focus on areas related to strategies in terms of how you can maintain and build relationships with other team members, how you can monitor and evaluate a team's performance, and how you can start to think about yourself as a coach for the members of your team. In module 3, which is really focused on leading teams, we'll look at theories of leadership and how these relate to your work context. If you're interested in leadership from an academic perspective, you'll know that it's actually, relative to other disciplines, a new set of literature, most of which started off with conceptions of heroic leadership. So an individual, a person born with a set of traits who are best equipped to lead teams. And that literature has evolved very significantly over the last decades. And there are much more modern conceptions of leadership that are less focused on individuals and more focused on the group as a whole, on interconnections, on setting up processes and systems to build those around you. So those are some of the type of conversations you'll have in the 3rd module. Module 4 is focused on business strategy, and that's related to themes around knowledge, management of knowledge, culture, and some discussions around ethics and how it relates to a business's identity and its strategic positioning. Module 5 is focused on finance, so that will relate to issues around risk management, some mathematical concepts, particularly related to economics and finance, and very pragmatically, how you can think about managing the finance of a unit or of a team. And then module 6 is actually an elective. Typically, we have 3 electives. We're increasingly encouraging participants to pick between 2 because we found that the first hasn't been as popular. It's focused a little bit more on manufacturing, but the others are related to customer service in the financial services sector. So if you're in that sector, great. If you're not in the sector, it's also fine to choose the elective because you'll learn a little bit more about a new industry. The other elective is really focused on business leadership and emotional intelligence. So those are some of the areas of content that you'll be able to explore as you go through the learning journey. And then I think, Tato, if we jump on to the next slide, I can share a little bit more about some of the processes you might experience as a learner. So we've tried to make it as simple and seamless as possible. So the first step really, and what we're encouraging all of you to do, is to put your hands up and apply. We are really, we've received a number of applications already. We're looking forward to receiving more. As Tato mentioned, the launch of the program is likely to be closer to the end of August. So there's still a little bit more time to get all of those applications in. Once that's happened, there'll be a process on our side with the BMF and Duke CE to make decisions about who's eligible and who's eligible specifically for a bursary. And I know there are more questions about that and definitely keen to address those. We'll then give everybody feedback. If you're confirmed on the program, you'll receive an email confirming your acceptance as well as the bursary outcome. And that will include your login details. You'll then log into our platform for the first time. You'll watch some introductory material, have some orientation, and then you can get started On the learning journey, which continues on the next slide, all of our content is hosted on a really great digital platform called Magic CE. So it will allow you to have really good access to all of the content. If we just jump on to the next slide, I think we'll see that you enter. I can see Tato's struggling there, but
no, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. That's life. But basically, I think the point is that in each module there are a set of sub-themes. They're actually referred to by the authorities as unit standards. And the point is that every time you enter a module, you'll go through a set of unit standards. Each unit standard will require a little bit of homework that's collected, all of which then gets submitted finally and gets summated together and forms a portfolio of evidence. And you'll do that, basically, it will be the same cadence for all of the 6 modules. As I say, all of the modules start with a bit of a teach piece, self-learning journey, and a bit of coaching at the end before you make your submission of the required content. You repeat that for all of the 6 modules, and hopefully at the end, if everything goes well, you graduate with the full qualification. I should also say that if for any reason work situations or personal situations change, we want to make sure that everyone's protected, and you'll always get acknowledgement for the work you do complete. So if you're unable to complete the full learning journey, you'll get a certificate acknowledging the bits of work that you managed to complete. So that's the sort of formal presentation we wanted to go through. I see Kulu and Tato, a few questions coming through. I'm keen to potentially crack on with some of these, and then Tato and Kulu, who probably knows so much more than me, will probably be able to answer the ones that I can't. So this is like a bit of an exam for me, live exam. So first one I see is, if you're in a senior management position, would you apply for this program? I think it's up to you. Typically, the focus is on those team members who are in their first, I would say, probably 4 years of work. That's when you start to get into positions where you manage small teams. If you're extremely senior in an organization, you're probably better suited to look for slightly different programs. All of that said, you might want to join because you think you might meet some interesting people and you get to work with Duke Corporate Education, and we'd love you to do that. We find, funnily enough, a lot of the learning happens between learners as they're sort of working on assignments. So when we've got slightly more senior team members part of a program, one of the big, and this is a bit selfish, one of the big benefits is that other team members who are on the program get to sort of learn from you. So it's kind of up to you. And if you want to have a separate conversation about that, I think we could definitely do that. May I still apply if I have an NQF level 7? Absolutely. It's interesting, in the South African setting, there are a couple of authorities who sit on the National Qualification Framework. Inside the National Qualification Framework, which sort of goes from 1 to 10, 10 being a PhD, 7 is very well known for the bachelor's, 4 is well known for the National Senior Certificate Matric, but they're sub-frameworks. So there's a ATQSF, which is the Higher Education Qualification Sub-Framework, and that's managed by the CHE. The point being, it's not always the case that if you've got a higher NQF level on one of the sub-frameworks that you won't learn from doing an NQF at a different level, at a lower level. So for example, if you've done an NQF 7 and you have a bachelor's degree in the social sciences, you're still going to learn a hell of a lot from doing a program on on project management or finance or business leadership that's at NQF level 4 or 5 or 6. So there are many reasons to do academic programs at different NQF levels, irrespective of what you've already got on hand. I'm going to go through these and then I'll go to the Q&A ones. So let's see. Will there be similar program? Those have more than 4 years experience? In the medium term, Duke CE is really excited about our partnership with the BMF. We've done some awesome work together already. There are already a couple other programs that are potentially in the pipeline where we would offer academic programs at both more junior and more senior levels. So keep your eyes peeled for more offerings. Are there group assignments? sad face. So many of the assignments can be completed individually. However, there are a couple instances where we do encourage participants to work together, just because it does encourage some additional learnings, but it's certainly not the case where you're going to have massive group projects with high levels of coordination required. It'll be small, minor, exercises that you might complete together and learn from each other. Okay, if it happened I apply and accepted in the program and I don't complete, what consequences will you face? Well, as I said, there are lots of reasons students sometimes drop out of programs, and in South Africa there are numerous, and it's completely understandable. We always acknowledge the work you have done. So if you've completed some of the modules and unit standards, you'll always receive credit for those. The only matter might relate to payments, and that's something I think we can discuss offline. The fee structure, and this relates to bursaries. I think the simplest way to answer it is as follows. This program is open to all of you to apply for. The bursaries are available for probably about 20 participants, and that's a really good number for BMF members. So that is a core benefit of the association with the BMF, is that a full bursary will be made available to you. The BMF and Duke CE will work together on decisions around who receives those bursaries. As we say, they will relate to the principles of academic merit, work experience, and we've also asked, as some of you may know, for an essay. We'd like to read those essays and get a better sense of how you use the qualification, and that will be important for how we think about the allocation of the bursaries. However, we would encourage everyone to sign up for it. Even if you don't get a bursary, you're still absolutely eligible to apply for the program. I think through the BMF team, they'll share some additional communications on the fee structure. What I will say is that there is a very significant discount available if you are a BMF member for the program, because the intention of the partnership is that Duke CE really believes in the work that the BMF are doing, and we want to work with BMF members. Of course, if you're outside the BMF, you can sign up. If you're a member, the point is you're eligible for the bursary, and you're also going to get a discount if you're choosing to pay for the program. So I think that's important to emphasize. I think I've now a closing date for applications. I think, and correct me here, I think it's sort of closer to another week or two's time. The application won't take long, by the way. If you dedicate 30 to 60 minutes, you'll probably be able to get the application in. So still a little bit more time, and I think we'll have some more formal. I'm going to jump over to Q&A because I know there's a whole set of other questions here. Okay, first one I think we've addressed. Yes, we've addressed the second one. So you don't have to be in the BMF to apply, but there are significant benefits to BMF membership if you do apply. Will it be feasible to join the program while I'm studying my master's at another institution, as well as retaining my full-time employment? Kulu, I see what you'd like to answer that one. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying as well from my side.
I can start the answer as Kulu comes back to this one. Interestingly, in South Africa, strictly speaking, the authorities want you to only be on one accredited program at a time. So that can be a difficult thing for overachievers to accept. But part of the reason is that the integrity of the academic institutions is that you're dedicated to the academic journey that you're on. So typically, an accredited program, you do one at a time. I'd probably say doing the master's, this program, and full-time employment might be a little bit tough. You could, I actually have no doubt you could do it, but typically in South Africa, it's one accredited program at a time. How much is the program if you don't have a bursary? I'm going to give a high-level answer. I know that that the BMF team will share some more formal comms around this. The highest level is that without the bursary and without BMF membership, the program comes in roughly in the high 30,000s of rand, and with BMF membership, that's discounted. So I think we'll share something a little bit more formal about that fee structure, but that just to give you a high level. NQF rating of the program, this is at NQF level 5. I think there's a specific question about membership of the BMF, which I certainly won't answer. Is it possible for a person working in the public service to study this course? Absolutely. We have lots of participants who are both in the private and public sector. Lots of the learnings are applicable. What happens if you fail a module? Can you fail? Yes, unfortunately, you can fail. The interesting thing is that we very often give a second chance for submissions. So that's something we do want to make sure people have the opportunity to do. If you don't get the bursary, you can, as I say, there are other ways you can join the program, and we really encourage it. BMF membership, good standing. I'll leave that. Let's have a look more, see if we can. So saw the works divided into 70% practice and 30% theory. So the idea behind that is that you'll read through the content, watch the videos, engage in the theory, but the practical element is that a lot of the exercises will ask you to place yourself in your current work setting or a potential work setting and apply the theory into some practice. So for example, a question might be, in your current work setting, if you've got a conflict in your team, how would you think about resolving that conflict? What steps would you follow? And give some examples where you are going to apply that in your work setting. So that's where that's what constitutes the practical element. It's taking the theory you've learned, and when you do the assignments, they're asking you to leverage your current work setting and in the way you answer the questions. And sometimes it might require that you're interacting with your team managers and teams at work. I've answered about the failing, CETA assessment, moderation, which CETA is quality assuring this qualification. So we have accreditations, obviously with the department here in South Africa, with the QCTO and with multiple CETAs. This particular qualification primarily sits with the bank CETA. So that would be the CETA that would be doing the final moderation and assessments for everybody. Discuss this. The discounts, I think the BMF team will communicate a little bit more formally. Yes, there are alternative options for payments. Okay, cool. So I think, sorry, I've tried to address most of these. Yeah.
Matt, can I jump in on the question around the BMF master classes?
Please.
So somebody, Itumeleng, asked about what will transpire during the BMF master classes. So literally we will have a thought leader around the specific topic that we will eventually finalize on, sharing some of the next practices, best practices and next practices around the topic, bringing that global thought leadership around it with some real practical case studies and example of how we can, apply that in our practical, in our different spaces. And it's definitely going to be virtual, so it'll be online facilitated session, which is going to be very engaging session, interactive with breakout rooms and application and in discussion. So that's the nature and the structure of those BMF facilitated classes.
Thank you so much, Matt. You definitely did just answer literally all of the questions that we have. So Phil, there is one very BMF specific question regarding what does it mean to be a BMF member in good standing. Tamsanga also asked a question saying that you mentioned that people can invite family members. Does that mean that they have to be BMF members? And maybe you could also just shed light on the membership fees of the Black Management Forum.
Thank you very much, Kulu. Thank you very much, Mate and Tato, for the excellent work in breaking it down to the colleagues on the platform. I think for people who are still thinking about joining the forum, I think this is a perfect opportunity now to really consider joining the BMF much more formally. Just to get into the questions, yes, quite correct. I think when we primarily partner with our stakeholders such as Duke, obviously, in as much as BMF is there for the good public, but we are primarily and predominantly a membership-based organization. And as such, we've got the obligation first and foremost to care for our members. The program will essentially, and the bursary available, will essentially target members who are in good standing. Now, what does it mean to be a member in good standing? You know, when you are a member in good standing in the BMF, this is obviously a BMF lingo, member in good standing. It simply means that your membership is up to date. That's what it essentially means. And when you are not in good standing, it means that your membership has lapsed. So there's always a need for the colleagues to ensure that their membership is up to date, and always to sort of like, be in the lookout for when the membership renewal notice is sent to you to ensure that you do pay attention and you renew your fees. Of course, can you invite colleagues, friends, and family members to join the program? Absolutely. I think as Duke has said, as Meta said, and Tato as well, the program is open to everyone. It's open to everyone, and certainly as the BMF would love to encourage as many people to join the program. We would appreciate also if, obviously, in the process of doing so, one would really give serious consideration in joining the BMF. You join the BMF for similar benefit. You join the BMF apart from, joining that noble cause, which is advancing socioeconomic transformation in our country. You join the BMF precisely to be developed. And through that membership fee that you actually pay, which is 747 Rand 50, VAT inclusive only, you get to have access to such wonderful benefit, I must actually say. So if one were to talk about value for money, 747.50, plus a major discounted program you will get. You guys are clever folks on the platform. You can go and do your maths and get an answer there for yourself as to where the value truly lies. But indeed, from our end, and in as far as the BMF is concerned, we certainly welcome and encourage everyone to basically join. I don't know, Kulu, if I've answered all the questions or if there's anything else I've left.
No, that is great, Phil. Thank you so much. We do have a live question from Benjamin. I don't know if Benjamin's question has been answered because I don't see his hand anymore. So Benjamin, if you still have there we go. Please unmute yourself, Benjamin, and you can go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am, and thanks for the presentation from Duke. One of the challenges that we always have within the NQF, National Qualifications Framework, is articulation across different sub-frameworks. Now, once a person does this qualification, it's quality assured by bank sitter, as the panelist said. What are the chances then of me going to a university in South Africa and getting credits for the work that I've done on this particular program? Thank you very much.
Thanks, Benjamin. It's such an interesting landscape in the South African setting. And these things do evolve and change with time. The highest level answer is that outside of Umalusi, who we all know, I think, issued our national senior certificates, I like to think of it, though some would probably characterize it slightly differently, as the two big sub-frameworks are the HEQSF that I had mentioned, over which the CHE looks. And the CHE is sort of primarily looking after the big public universities, large institutions, UCT, UJ, Wits, Unizol, NWU, UFS, all of the universities that we know in South Africa. And their mandate really is about research. That's the big thing that universities are responsible for in this market, teaching students and producing really good research. The other side is a lot more occupational and vocational, and it's organized in theory under the QCTO, to whom all of the seaters in theory actually sit and report into, though their relationships vary in some cases. And that's where you've got bank seater, services seater, MERS seater, WNR seater. So this is a bit of a long explanation. The credits are absolutely transferable, but typically within the same sub-framework. So on the vocational and occupational side, you will be able to move along with ease. Whereas if you wanted to accumulate, say, an NQF 7 on the vocational side, so with a CETA or the QCTO, that wouldn't necessarily make you eligible for an honors degree, which is at NQF level 8 on the CHE side. So your point is right. The transferability isn't automatic between the sub-frameworks. Within, absolutely fine, no problem. But if you're thinking of doing this in order to pursue or work towards a more research-focused qualification on the CHE side, like an honors degree or master's degree, if that's your sole motivation, this probably wouldn't be the right course for you to pick.
I think just to also mention, we did receive a few questions asking what the benefits of the program are. On the application page for the program, we do have a brochure that's specific to the specific program, and most of the questions that you might have regarding the benefits of being part of this program are contained in that brochure. So I would advise that everybody go on the BMF website, bmfonline.co.za. It is on the homepage of the website. Click on the start application link that is on there, and then you'll be redirected to the program page that has all information you need regarding specifically this program.
And I don't see too many more questions coming up, but my last thing I'd love to say is just, aside from thanking you all for the time, and again, wishing you all the most in terms of health and safety, is, apply, put your hand up and, get stuck into something that I think is going to be really beneficial for you with the BMF and JUXE. We are so excited about this program. This will be the first cohort. So being the first cohort of what I hope will grow into an extensive additional alumni network inside the BMF, I think is just such a great opportunity. And yeah, we'd really love to work with all of you.
Thank you so much for that, Matt. Just as a parting shot from my end, we will be releasing more information regarding funding to the program, most especially the discounts that were mentioned by Matthew when you are a BMF member that did not get the bursary for the program. But I'll leave it there for now. It will be on all of our social media pages and on our emailing list. If you'd like to join our emailing list, please register on our website to be part of our database. But please help me welcome back Philip Bakaukutela to give us our closing remarks. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kulu, and thank you, Matthew and Tato, once more for the presentation and really for truly availing yourself for tonight. I think a closing remark from my end would be to say, colleagues, there's never been a greater time where leadership is most needed than now. And one of the ways in which we can ensure that we do contribute positively to the current discourse is by actually ensuring that we are fully equipped to be able to tackle the challenges that we face as a country and as a nation. And this is what actually the BMF would like you to actually be able to do. This is what the BMF would like to see you actually doing. So through this program, we see such stride actually being achieved. We're seeing such realization being achieved. So that's the reason as to why we really truly would like to encourage you to join the program. As Kulu has said, we will be in touch with you colleagues with respect to the various funding model available that you will be able to access and benefit from, because I know at the end of the day, funding remains a fundamental issue for most of you who clearly have shown your interest first and foremost by applying based upon the application we have received thus far, but also on the interest you've shown by coming in your numbers, queuing in during this difficult and critical time in our country to listen to what we actually, as the BMF and Duke, we have to offer. So please be in the lookout. As the BMF, we are committed to ensuring that we develop our members, we give you the necessary tool you need to grow. And we are pleased that we're not alone in this journey. We're actually working through with such credible and trustworthy partners such as Duke. For that, we'd like to say thank you to them. And we also would like to say thank you to you, colleagues, for availing yourself for tonight, for joining. Be on the lookout for more info that will be coming through regarding the program. And please encourage your friends, encourage your family members to join the BMF as well. Just not attend the program. And yeah, we look forward to really welcoming you in the program. If there's anything else, please do reach out to the relevant people who are the contact colleagues on the program, but also go to our website to find out more about what you perhaps looking for, or call us on 011784 4407, or use any of the handles that we have on social media to get in touch with us. Thank you very much. Thanks, Kulu.
No, thank you so much, Phil. Our handle on social media is at BMF National. The website is bmfonline.co.za. You can also find the rest of the benefits of being a member of the Black Management Forum on there as well. Thank you so much and good evening.